Get Out is a psychological horror film from writer-director Jordan Peele. I had heard about all the praise it's received, was never interested in seeing it at the time, and was skeptical about how good it would be. Is it really that good? Or was this just woke Hollywood revving up, praising the black writer/director? Well, I finally got around to watching it. This movie is fantastic. It's one of the best, one of the most sinister, and one of the most satisfying horror films I've seen in a long time, even impressing at the box office with $255 million on a $4.5 million budget. Couple Chris and Rose, played by Daniel Kaluuya and Allison Williams, are heading out to her parents' remote cottage so Chris can meet them for the first time. An interaction with an officer on the way after hitting a deer is one of the few instances of racial commentary, and thankfully the film isn't a platform to push or highlight that sort of thing. Surprisingly, the deer is more of a recurring motif. As they're greeted by Rose's parents, Chris is accepted with open arms, as well as from the parents' guests, who all love Chris, except they're all acting a bit strange, and only making conversation about black issues, black people, or personal questions about being black. The few black people he's able to interact with are behaving even more strange. More and more suspicious things keep happening. He keeps letting things go, giving every benefit of the doubt, until it gets to the point where he feels he has to No, I won't say it. Until it gets to the point where he feels he has to leave. Rose's father, Dean Armitage, played by Bradley Whitford, is a surgeon, and her mother, Missy Armitage, played by Catherine Keener, is a hypnotherapist. If you've seen the trailer, you can see Chris gets hypnotized, but finding out more about the Armitage family is the real kicker. A damn kick in the gut. It's a very intriguing, creative, interesting, compelling, and captivating story. The story is pretty easygoing until Jeremy, played by Caleb Landry Jones, Rose's brother, arrives. If there was anyone who seems like the villain of the film, it's him. The actor did a fantastic job with Jeremy's very creepy, spontaneous, unpredictable nature. The cinematography is fantastic. The main floor of the house, where we mostly see the parents, is usually a warm yellow color, with a candlelight dinner and fireplace light appearing more sinister. The outdoors and Chris and Rose's room, where they discuss how the trip is going and other various things, looks more of a neutral space. Chris keeps in touch with his friend Rod, filling him in as the strange events occur. Rod provides some comic relief. Some of his lines are funny, some not so much. Either way, he brings a lighter tone to the story and becomes essential to Chris's safety. The directing is fantastic, with great camera work overall and some memorable shots. The performances are fantastic. All the performances kept me guessing what was going to happen, except for Rod, who was a skeptic about everything and said everything that was on his mind. The pacing is fantastic. This movie isn't messing around. 15 minutes in, and we're at the cottage, meeting the parents. At a 1 hour 44-minute runtime, the story unfolds at a fantastic pace. There's a minimal use of music with the usual horror vibrato strings and stabs, with an opening and ending credit track that's eerie and almost uplifting at the same time. Although the director states the movie is about racism and manages to bring up questions about racial issues, overall, I personally didn't feel that so much about the film. At times, Chris brings up suspicions he thinks may be straight up good old-fashioned racism, but is not the case at all. The awkwardness of feeling like the outsider is here and resonated with me, though it's definitely exaggerated by the other guests' behaviors and goals. I have two beefs with Get Out. Chris has a little piece of lint in his hair in this shot. When it cuts away and back to him, it disappears. It's difficult keeping bits of lint out of our hair. It happens to me on a regular basis. Second is Chris's phone. He has it plugged in, charging, but finds later on someone unplugged it and he ran out of juice. I'm wondering how come his phone died just from being unplugged. I'm using a 2016 Sony Xperia Z3. Mind you, I'm only using it as a camera, but on standby, that thing can stay on for more than a week. So I find it strange his phone dies completely just because someone plugged it out. Overall, Get Out is very interesting and fantastic in every aspect. Thank goodness it's under 2 hours and moves at a great pace. Seeing it a second time made it even better as I noticed all the small details and nuances as the story unfolds. 9 out of 10. Thanks for watching. Consider donating through PayPal or buy me a cup of coffee so I can stay awake long enough to make these things. And of course, help a brother out by hitting like or dislike, subscribing and commenting, all that good stuff. And with that, take care and good night.